Hello, welcome back. So guess what? We are still looking at our mammals. Today we're going to look at the different kinds of mammals that we have because they actually have categories of mammals. So let's go ahead and review our chart though because I want you to memorize and know it like you know your name, okay? So our two big groups are vertebrates and invertebrates, right? And our vertebrates can be divided into cold-blooded and warm-blooded. Okay, our invertebrates are actually only cold-blooded. Okay, and the cold-blooded vertebrates that we learned about so far this year are fish, amphibians, and reptiles. Okay, so you should know those like inside, outside, upside, downside. Okay, and what we're going to review is our warm-blooded vertebrates. We've learned about birds, which hatch out eggs, have two wings. You can characterize a bird, like not what it means to be a bird, but you can talk about identifying a bird, like a robin or a blue jay, based on their size and shape and song. Okay, that will give you a really good idea. That's how you differentiate the different kinds of birds. All right, and then we talked about mammals. And yesterday we talked about how to be a mammal, you have to have fur or hair. And you know, we have hair on our head, yeah. And we talked about the hair on our arms. Remember when we were in school, we talked about the hair on our arms. And that we have hair, but we don't have like long hair like a dog that has long hair that we call fur, right? And then we talked about live births, except for platypus, yes, and cheetah. And we talked about how they breathe with lungs and they give milk. So we're going to talk about different places you find mammals. Okay? So the mammals are categorized based on a few things. They're based on characteristics that they all have, or they're based on where they live. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at some of these. So our first category, I'm going to look in my book because I want to make sure I do it in the same order that you guys have it. The first one we're going to look at is a hooved mammal. Okay, so I always do that. Okay, so our hooved animals are animals when the foot touches the ground, that's called the hoof. Hoof, yeah. And they're called hooves, which is why I had the V, because I always think of hooves instead of hoof. So singular is hoof, plural is hooves. All right. So hooved animals are animals who have hooves that protect their feet, and they are like horses, deer, giraffes, pigs, zebras, those kinds of animals. Okay, moose. Okay, so we'll just write down some of them. So moose, deer, okay, pigs, okay, just to name a few of them, all right? Mammals are actually one of the most thought of animals that we name. If I say name an animal, most people will name a mammal, okay? Because there's a lot of them. Now, there are also flying mammals, but believe it or not, there's only one, okay, kind of flying mammal. So we do have flying mammals. And our flying mammal is a bat. That's it, that's all. Now there's a lot of different kinds of bats. There's vampire bats and there's fruit bats, and so just to name some, there's a horned bat, just a few that come to my mind very quickly. So there's a lot of different kinds of bats, but bats are the only flying mammal. Everything else that flies is like an insect or a bird, okay? So bats. Cool. Did you know that that was a flying mammal? Did you know bats were mammals? Pretty nifty. Our next category that we're going to look at today, and it will be our last one for today, are marine mammals. Okay, dolphins, whales, okay, are just a couple of the marine animals. There's seals. Okay, so all these marine mammals, they can hold their breath a really long time, but they have to come to the surface to breathe. If they don't actually come to the surface to breathe, they drown just like people do, or just like a dog would, or a cat. Okay, but God created them in a way that they can hold their breath a really long time. They just have to be able to come to the surface. All right. So those are a few of the things that I have for you today. And again, I would like you to please spell out something you learned today that was new from yesterday. And please re-look again at your 2 pages in your book, 34 and 35. And go ahead and examine those and see if you can come up with any other hooved mammals that aren't listed there or here. And maybe some other marine mammals, okay, that aren't listed either place. So I will see you again tomorrow, and go ahead and work on your next animal, which, if I remember, it was a giraffe, which is a hooved animal, by the way. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow. So now I have to go over here and turn it off, which is why I keep walking up. I know that looks really weird and I don't like it either, but that's how it goes when you don't have a cameraman, okay? All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.